Hello, welcome to FP page of The Eternal Quest. The Eternal Quest is associated with Ahmedabad Book Club, American Corner, Ahmedabad, and Hello Gujarat TV presents a weekend conversation with Mannat Singh. Hi Mannat Singh, I am Sarvajit Gaurav, a LLB student. I'm doing my law course in Ramaya College of Law at Bangalore, and I'm here to host you, and I am the host for the day. She has described herself as a 14-year-old small town girl, Aya, and she has been an introvert with dash of craze and lace. This word dash of craze and lace is basically it is this word is from you, right?
Yes, definitely.
So, what do you mean by dash of craze and lace?
These are the words I would use to describe myself. Dash of crazy and lazy is me. I'm lazy. I'm usually very lazy, and my imagination can be quite crazy. So I think it was very suitable for me to describe myself.
Very catchy line. So, you're lazy, is it? You're a lazy person, is it?
Yes, yes.
Being lazy is actually an advantage. People think it is a disadvantage, but it is an advantage because if you want to get a job in Microsoft, you must be a lazy person because Bill Gates has said he will only appoint a lazy person because he can do any job in an easy way. So it is actually an advantage. People say,
Yeah, definitely. I consider laziness a definite advantage.
but not in all aspects. Actually,
Yeah.
so you are at the age of 14, 10th grade of Shivani Ketan School, and now become a published author with Scholastic Quell Club writers. Manat Singh's story, a short story, When It All Comes Back, is published as a part of 17 magnificent stories in the compiled book Inky Blue Reflective Stories. So, Manat Singh, tell us,
Yes.
how did you begin your writing journey and who inspired you the most? And please elaborate about it.
Ever since I was young, I was a very curious child. I was always, wanting to explore and experience everything. My love for reading came very naturally. Ever since I was a child, I was like usually very introverted, and writing had always intrigued me. So it made me feel like I had traveled the world from my bedroom. I was a huge Harry Potter fan. I was a Potterhead. So yeah, they definitely still inspire me. And I was always, the type of kid who would stay back during sports and read books. So I guess my love for reading and writing just blossomed from there. And my writing journey now just began with Scholastic, and my mother actually encouraged me to do this program to expand my knowledge of reading and writing. And as for what inspires me, I think it would be definitely a bit of everything. It's experiences and things that make me feel, and I try to convey those emotions into my writing. And yeah, that's why I write.
Very interesting. So, when it all comes back, that is your story, right? Tell us the
Yes.
core idea behind the title and what are the various themes associated with it.
When it all comes back, is essentially a story about a girl who's trying to outrun her past. She tries to do this through a memory experiment, but when it fails, it comes back. So that's where the idea originated from. My mentors actually helped me with coming up with this idea. They helped me through my whole writing journey. It has like various themes of coming of age, transformation, regret, discovery, pursuit, among many things. It's basically a science fiction and a bit of thriller.
So your favorite science fiction or thriller movie? Can you name any few?
Well, I would say what I'm currently reading is my favorite science fiction. It's a book by Agatha Christie. It's And Then There Were None, this book.
Any thriller story which you really inspired of?
Um, Not a fan of reading myself. I'm a fan of writing them.
Okay, you watch movie, right?
Yeah.
So you are a story writer. Have you have an idea of directing or story writing a movie if you get a
Yes, yes, definitely. If the chance, presented itself, I would definitely, try all the art forms because it's a form of expression, and as an artist, I really like that.
so in your story, who would you like to have a hero and a heroine?
In my story, my movie, I guess the actor would be Hrithik Roshan. He's my favorite actor. So, and I would be the heroine because it's my story and it's my literary world. So,
That's both that's very amazing. In your story, you being a heroine, very different thought because usually no writers they put themselves in the story. So that is really nice. I appreciate it. So my third question is: you being an introvert, how could you express your imagination as real life characters?
so like in my imagination, I can do quite literally anything, and I try to be, brave and courageous, and make my characters brave and courageous as well. It's nice to, portray that strength of being brave through my characters. Maybe it can inspire someone to be brave in real life also.
So you being an introvert, do you find it as a demerit or you find it a merit?
It's definitely a mixture of both because when you're introverted, it's you have a lot of social anxiety and you find it hard, talking to people and making conversations. But at the same time, you can, stay with your books, and everyone kind of knows you as, the girl who's always, sitting in the corner and reading books. So it's also kind of nice.
But when it comes to an introvert, they're very silent. But they think silence has no communication. But silence is a lethal weapon. It has a powerful communication. At that time, people they might not understand. But silence is basically people will realize that answer very soon. Very powerful message silence give. But you please don't be silent in this interview. You have to talk. So my fourth question is: in a short story, which one is more important, the plot or the characters?
I definitely think it's a mixture of both. They have to know, not only coexist but also complement each other in a way that suits your story and gives it structure. Finding a story to write about is easy, but writing the characters in a way that the reader cares about the characters is so much more difficult. The plot is what happens to the character or what the character does. So you cannot have the characters without a plot. To show who or what the character is, you need to show the character in acting, and that is the plot. And so yeah, I think they're both quite essential to any good work of literature.
That's actually interesting. So, did you face any difficulty while creating a work of art, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I think as artists, we tend to put ourselves in too much of myself in the whatever I'm writing. So I'm always, kind of insecure about that. And it's like if people don't like this part, then they don't like me, because when I'm writing, I'm projecting and I'm portraying those characters as habits of my own and things that I do actually in real life. So yeah, vulnerability is always something that I've struggled with in writing. um, and yeah, I found that the key to overcoming this is usually confidence, and being confident in yourself and your writing, and knowing your work, and knowing that your writing is good enough, and knowing that vulnerability is essential to part of writing.
So now basically you're a writer, and this is comes to a public opinion. So when you write a book or the story
Yeah.
which you have already written, when it all comes back, so there will be people who's for you, there will be people who will mock at you, and there will be people who's against you. Can you tell can you tell me what do you think about these people who's for you, who is mocking at you, and who is against you?
Well, there are always going to be, those people who criticize you and do criticize everything you do, really. And I think uh, the best way to handle that criticism is just to accept it, because there are always, going to be those people who talk, nonsense about you and your books.
Hmm.
There's nothing you can do about it. I think the best thing you can do is just to let it go and to not let it affect you in your writing.
So assume there is a hater and he is giving a wrong opinion on your stories. So will you, what kind of remedy will you take against that hater?
Well, I suppose I can't really do anything, but I'll try to, consider what points he's making, and try to consider his point of view, because he might actually offer some good criticism. And yeah, I think if he's not making any sense, I would just ignore him, because the story is already published, and I would never put out something that I'm not proud of, and that's something that's not my style.
So, and what would you like to say to your fans, like to the people who's for you at your difficulties?
I would definitely thank them, because they're the reason I'm here and doing what I'm doing. So yeah, they're definitely a big part of where I am. And yeah, they're very encouraging and very motivating, and that's really important to me.
So, can you please elaborate? This is actually a question which has been asked by someone. They told you are a very young writer. So,
Yes.
have you ever faced a criticism by an elderly writer, or have you ever kind of, have this kind of discomfort because being an young writer and there are so much writer who's at the age of 40 and 50?
Yeah, there are definitely, people who uh, elder people who try to um, kind of put you in a path that you don't uh, uh,
It's okay, it's
they're
okay.
always going to be sorry they're always going to be elder people who try to give you advice. In life also, they try to give you advice. I would try to take in what they're saying, because they are experienced and they have been in this field for longer than I have. I'm very young. I'm barely 15. So yeah, I would definitely try to consider them and their points.
So, your remedy to your haters is basically whatever hatred they give you, you're going to take the positivity and you will ignore the negativity. That is what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Yes, definitely,
That's a
definitely.
legitimate line. Really, that's really inspiring. Okay, and my another question is, what is your motive while writing the short stories?
While writing the short story, I didn't have a concrete motive in mind. I didn't have a specific idea. But as I reread it, and I found that it always, circles about on remembrance and memory, or its power and influence on yourself and on the character. So yeah, I think that's the general motive of my story, and that's the idea that I try to convey through this story.
So you didn't have any motive while writing this story when it all comes back.
No, I tried to actually, let it flow and try to, tell my subconscious, listen to my subconscious and what it was saying to me. That makes
Okay.
sense.
So when there is motive, there if person while writing a story, if they don't have a motive, they'll definitely have an intention of giving a powerful message or kind of giving a message to the story. So what is your intention of giving a message through this story?
My intention was definitely to remind people how powerful their past can be and how it affects your character, and to not, run from it, to embrace it, to honor it fully, uh, and to know how it influences your character and the things you do in your life, because it's very important.
Hmm. So the next question, but before that, I need to know the synopsis which you told the core, but it wasn't clarifying. I need the elaborate, deep synopsis of the story when it all comes back. Because even I'm lazy to read books. Because I could actually, if I know the synopsis, it'll be easy for me about the story.
When it all comes back is about this girl, June Roberts.
Okay.
She tries to do, like as I said before, she tries to erase her memory and her past, because she comes from this really bad side of town, because she didn't pay attention in school. So she tries to, uh, reevaluate herself and, make herself a better person. I think that's definitely uh, something that we should all do, but she tries to do this through a wrong method, which is, trying to erase her past. So when it fails, she realizes that uh, erasing her past isn't going to do anything. She kind of accepts herself.
Okay, that's actually an interesting story. And my next question is, apart from being a writer, what is your second passion?
Does reading still count? Technically, it's not writing, so
So,
kidding.
living, reading,
I think
another
I'm
passion.
quite good at. I'm sorry.
No, no, living, reading, another passion, which you could say.
I would say I'm quite good at baking. I also travel a lot, but I haven't been able to do that recently because of, COVID. I used to swim a lot also when I was young. So yeah, I guess baking and stuff normal teenagers do.
So, can you just share your view, your favorite place that you have ever visited?
Um, I have visited Singapore. So that was my favorite place. It's definitely so lively, and its airport in itself is kind of so mm, worth seeing, and I would definitely recommend everyone to go there.
So, can you share your favorite moment in Singapore?
It was definitely when I arrived, because I felt like I was so happy, and uh, yeah, I definitely think, as the tour, when I went to, the destinations and, all the things that, tourists are supposed to see, that also I felt like a proper tourist, like I was actually visiting Singapore.
That's interesting. My another question is, what are you reading currently?
Currently, I'm reading a murder mystery um, by Agatha Christie. It's a classic of hers. I'm a big fan of her writing. It's called And Then There Were None. I'm about to finish it. I'm on the end. It's her writing is just very, grappling, and I just can't turn away.
What is your favorite part in that story which you're reading currently, or a favorite character?
Um, I definitely this part in which they all arrive and they read this kind of little poem which has all these clues about what is happening in the story, and you find out all the clues from that poem. So yeah, I think that connecting all those dots and making all the connections is definitely my favorite parts in a murder mystery.
Modern mystery is actually very interesting to go through. So, and my
Yeah.
another question is, who is your favorite author and why?
My favorite author is it's a hard one, but Oscar Wilde. His book, A Picture of Dorian Gray, is like one of my favorite books. I read it all the time. His writing is also very beautiful, and it's just like so captivating that I can't like turn away. I'm definitely like a big fan of his.
So, you have read everything about, means every story is written by Oscar Wilde.
I haven't got the chance to because school and stuff. I haven't read every story, but his uh, the ones I've read is very beautiful.
So, you are basically from CBSE school, right?
Yes, that's
Don't think this
CBSE.
question is irrelevant because in your plus one, maybe the next year, you'll have a story called The Cantervilla Ghost, which is written by Oscar Wilde. So that comes under your syllabus. So you'll get to read one more story by your syllabus about Oscar Wilde and his stories. Because
Wow, I
I'm,
didn't know that.
because actually, yeah, your maybe your English literature you'll have this story. It's called The Cantervilla Ghost. It's actually a very nice story. It was written by Oscar Wilde.
Mm.
So, leaving Oscar Wilde, any other author which you are inspired of?
Uh, there's also like Emily Dickinson, which I mentioned. I haven't read much of her work, but the ones I've read, her poems are very, beautiful. The way that she writes about death is very beautiful, and I find that quite interesting.
So, I like which kind of genre you like romance, horror, thriller, science fiction, or
I
action.
I read a bit of everything, but mostly it's like mostly horror, a bit of romance also, um, and a bit of poetry too.
So, when it comes to romance, I basically like a writer Chetan Bhagat. So, similarly, you have any writer for romance, or let it be a movie director also. So, who is your
Uh,
favorite movie director or a writer in romance genre?
None come to mind like specifically. I haven't read much of romance. Mostly, I'm on the dark side, and I like to read about dark themes like murder and stuff like that. So, romance, I just if I want to have a lighter mood or distract myself, then I read romance.
Your favorite movie, which is a dark movie or a horror or a thriller movie, your favorite movie?
Um, Dark movie. I recently watched The Dead Poet Society, which was quite interesting. Uh,
Your favorite Indian thriller movie?
I don't watch much of Indian thriller movies. I don't find them, it's quite as good. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, and my next question is, tell us your favorite line from your short story and favorite line from which the literature that you have learned which influenced you.
My favorite line from my short story would definitely be when I was before I realized what was happening, I staggered back. All the memories were hitting me at once. Every pesky little detail replayed through my head again. I remembered everything. It's part of the ending of my story, and it's where, June realizes that the experiment didn't work, and she had to accept the fact. And as for like my favorite line from literature, it would definitely be pardon my sanity in a world insane from Emily Dickinson.
Good, that's cool. And my another question is your favorite music director or an artist, because you would basically have I've seen readers they deviate their mind and they calm their mind by listening to music. So may I know your favorite music director?
Music director, I don't know many, but my favorite artist is Harry Styles. I've definitely been listening to a lot of him recently.
Your favorite song from him?
Um, it would definitely be Sweet Creature, Harry Styles. Yeah,
When I have to listen to it, because I listen to the weekend songs, so I'll listen to the songs also.
yeah.
Tell us more about yourself, your hobby, your dream, and your likes.
I'd say I'm a very, mediocre person with a very, secluded life, But my hobbies include like art. I love art. When I was young, I used to, dream of being an artist. But as I got older, I realized that, that wasn't a very good choice, and you had to be really, really talented for, doing art as a career. So now art is like my hobby. I love like sitcoms and TV shows, and I could watch them professionally. I could, if I could watch them professionally, I could. And it's like watching fictional characters come to life. It intrigues me so much. And as I mentioned before, I love swimming, baking, and traveling. Basically,
So you are a swimmer, right?
yeah.
Have you
Never
any?
did it professionally in teams
Okay, then fine. I was
for
about to ask
fun.
a professional question. What's your future plan?
Well, currently it's to finish school and keep on writing hopefully, and probably going to a good college and building a career, proper career, and to be independent so that I can take care of, myself and my family. That
It's a very responsible answer, to be honest.
I'm the oldest, no, so I've always, have to be responsible. Younger
I'm
sister, so
I'm 21 years old. Even I'm not having that much responsibility. Okay, and your
having a little sister, so we'll do that for you.
sure. Okay, and can you share your s- your school memories, which is very beautiful moment which you had in your school?
Beautiful moment. Uh, when um this time we had all got my friends and I, we had like got detention sort of thing. We had to stay back after school because we did something wrong or something like that, or we had some incomplete or something like that. And the whole time we the school was completely empty, so we had like lots of fun with it, and went to every classroom and just enjoyed ourselves. It was didn't really feel like a punishment. It's like one of my best days that I ever had.
Okay, and your kind of embarrassing moment which you had in the school, if you would like to share.
There was this one time I was sitting down on a chair, and this guy was like really popular and stuff like that. And when I was sitting, he pulled the chair, and I fell down in front of everybody, and everybody kind of laughed, and everybody was looking at me too. So I felt really embarrassed.
The embarrassed moment which I felt, I think it is very funny. I would like to share this to you because I'm a rap singer in my school. So in my school cultural, I did a rap song. So after my rap song, I was walking through the corridor, and group of girls they were like, "Hey Gaurav, can I take a photo with you?" I was like, "Fine, you can take a photo." So what they did was they took this Snapchat with those dog filters. Actually, I felt little discomfort, and again I was walking through, and there are more few girls, like somewhere 15, 16 girls. They were like, "Gaurav, one photo." And I was like, yeah, yeah, sure, but don't take the Snapchat photo and all. So they were like, no, 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 we are standing here. You take a photo of this itself. Did you get it? That was the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
embarrassing moment I've ever faced in my life. Okay, my next question. Uh, any message that would you like to give your readers in this tough times as COVID?
Um, I would definitely, wanting to give the message of, keeping your spirits up, and to keep believing in yourself, and knowing that you're not alone in whatever you're going through, and this is going to, be okay. So thank.
So this is a rapid fire round. Uh,
Yeah,
I'll be shooting some questions. Your favorite food?
pizza
Pizza with extra cheese.
with extra cheese, of course.
What what favorite means there are varieties in pizza also. Which is your favorite variety of pizza?
Ooh, extra cheese with pepperoni.
Okay. And your favorite color?
I don't discriminate. Rainbow.
Legitimate answer. Your favorite movie?
Love Simon.
Your favorite language?
English.
Your favorite games?
Monopoly or Ludo.
Your favorite pet?
Dogs. My dog Rocky. I have dog.
Okay. Dog Rocky, is it he or she?
He.
Yeah. Tell me something about Rocky.
Well, he's very mischievous. He's always, biting stuff to get my attention and running away with my shoes so that I don't go outside. He has like spots and white fur, brown spots and white fur, and he's always, the one causing the mess. He's like the young, acts like the youngest, and he's like basically part of the family. We all consider him
That's
basically.
that's amazing. Okay, and I'll be asking some few questions. These are psychological questions which help just answer freely. This helps your viewers or the readers understand you. So my first question is,
Okay.
you're in the deep of a forest, you're in the middle of a forest, and
Mm-hmm.
you find a tree house 100 meters ahead, which you assume that tree house to be yours, and it's slightly started raining. So what
Okay.
would you do at that point of time? Will you slightly get wet in that rain and go to the tree house, or will you rush to the tree house without getting wet, or will you stay at the same place getting completely wet?
I would stay completely wet. I love the rain in the middle of the forest. Oh,
Okay, so the rain stopped and you go to the tree house. Basically,
okay.
the tree house is very dark. You have a
Mm-hmm.
backpack with 10 candles. How many candles will you lit to bring light to the tree house and to get rid of this darkness? How many candles will you lit?
Three.
Three candles.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a table inside the tree house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what shape you would prefer that table to be? Should the table be round should it be square or should it be in rectangular shape?
Rectangular shape.
Okay, there is a water jug in the table. So,
Hmm.
what kind of water jug would you prefer? This mud water jug, which they say matka wala
Yeah, yeah,
water jug, or a
yeah, yeah. No,
silver water jug, or a steel water jug?
I would prefer a glass one.
Glass one. Okay. Uh, you come out of the tree house. So, what kind of
Okay.
atmosphere you would prefer? A sunny atmosphere, or a cold, gloomy atmosphere, or night? The atmosphere should be in the form of night.
Uh, a kind of gloomy atmosphere, I guess.
So actually, this is an action analysis which helps me understanding you. Tell it might be true, it might be false also, but you just point me out whether those analysis came true. Okay.
Okay.
So you told you will get completely wet in the rain. So you would prefer being alone. You don't socialize that much with friends. When you are kind of disappointed, you stay alone. Is that true?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
I'm an introvert, so
So
I
okay.
tend to stay alone always.
So you go to the tree house and you told you lit three candles, which means when you are in a hard stage, when you are in a difficult situation, or when you are in some kind of confusion, you take three people's suggestion, and among these three, you will choose the one best. But definitely, you will consider three people's suggestion and help. Is that true? It can be
Yeah,
your
kind of.
friends.
Yeah,
It can be your friends, or it can be
yeah,
your family members. But three people, correct?
yeah. Three people.
Was it accurate?
But yeah,
And my next question, you told a
hmm,
rectangular table, right?
yeah.
So you probably any misunderstanding or any kind of fight with a person you face or you have, you would never get back to them until and unless any coincidence or any circumstances makes you to get back to that person. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess I kind of hold grudges on that time. You're muted.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah.
There was some noise in the outside. That's why. Okay,
No
then
problem.
you told you like a glass jug, correct?
Yeah.
So that one closest person can break your heart very easily. Is that true? One closest person.
Yes, it's kind of true. I have a very tight circle of friends and family, so yeah.
So and another thing was you have a limited friends. You are like you have a short circle and you're very happy with that friend circle, and you don't want further people to add upon your friend circle. Is that true?
Yes, yes, it's true.
So on the
It's
last
kind of
question,
creepy.
that is the psychological question. So this helps the viewer understand you. And the last question is you told you like gloomy weather. You prefer a cold places, some such as Himalaya, or when you're disappointed, when you're upset, you prefer a vacation in a cold places such as Ooty, Himalaya, or somewhere a cold, gloomy, cold, chilled places. Is that true?
Yes, yes. I don't like beaches and stuff.
So I got you. Okay, thank you, Mannat Singh, for your wonderful and inspirational conversation. You next See you next week with another interesting and motivational interview. And keep going, Manat Singh, because you started your career here and don't stop it. Writing and reading is really a brilliant task. And I, Sarvajit Gaurav, signing off. Thank you so much, Manat Singh.
Thank you.